Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Harmonious Engineering Let's Play series. I'm on my way back because I think we are finally ready to make ourselves a camouflage applicator. Let's go ahead and get this requested. Let's go ahead and get the lapis lazuli requested and our lever. And I'm going to show you exactly what I have planned today, because I think we're going to be able to finally make some of our stuff look good, work well, and just overall feel a little more complete and a little more implemented as far as the pneumatic components go. So we have been doing really well so far on our production of stress over here, or sorry, pressure. So we are currently, I bumped up the gauge over here to stop running at 4.9 bar. So 4.91 being greater than 4.9 causes it to turn on, and you can see that it is working perfectly. This setup is just really easy to do, so I'm very glad that we are using it. What I'm going to do is hook up this pipeline here so that we can get a couple of things rolling again. I'd like to get this charged up right here in our charging station. Having a camouflage applicator in our charging station will make things really nice and convenient. And then there is also there's a module that we had used previously, this guy here, the regulator tube. We can use one of these and run two different lines of tubes if we want. We can run a high voltage, or in other words, a high pressure tube line in with advanced tubes, and then anything that needs to be below 5 bar can be put behind a regulator tube, and that would, in theory, work. So what I'm going to do is start to camouflage everything. You can see as soon as I hold this camouflaging applicator, it will show us all connections in the chunk that we're in. I think it's just the chunk. If we do F3G, yeah, you can see the chunk border. Definitely is the cutoff. I don't know why it's showing it after a point, but that's fine. And what you do is you just shift right click on the block you want it to clone. Sorry, you right click on the block you want it to clone, and then you just right click to apply. And so there we go. It's going to start looking like deep slate tiles. I'm going to do the same thing over here. You know, we have all of these over here. So I'm going to start doing that to make these look a little better as well. And they do consume the block. So as you can see, we are going through them a little bit. In fact, I might convert these over to cobble real quick, just so that I don't have to run back home. And so now, actually, I guess I will, because I still have these that are exposed. But now we've got things a little bit more nicely integrated, and that just feels outstanding. Currently, we're still doing pretty well processing through our oil. We are about halfway down on this last tank, and then once this is just about finished up, we'll toss in the rest. But again, that diesel can be refined further, so I do look forward to getting to that. So what I have planned for this episode is to not only clean up around the base a little bit, but to also look into getting into the PneumaticCraft power armor. The power armor is really easy to craft, but maintaining it and using it is not so easy. So let's take a look at that. Oh, and we also wanted some deep slate tiles. Let's go ahead and grab those before I forget. We'll do that. So if we look at PneumaticCraft, there are these 4 armor pieces here. They're all pretty straightforward to make. Looks like we're going to be shy on air canisters. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. We'll go and make a good handful of pressure tubes here. And I want to see compressed. Oh, I know. I think a lot of our compressed armor is actually over there, directly next to our enchanting. Because I was going to say, I think we had some, but I don't remember. Yeah, here we go. Leggings, boots. These leggings are damaged, though, so I don't know that that's really... You scared the crap out of me. Hi. Do you like, burgers? Do you like burgers? Would you like a hamburger? You can keep that. You can keep that. I'm good. Thank you. Have a great day. You scared the crap out of me. Okay, like I was saying though, let's go and get the rest of this compressed iron armor created, and then we will augment it to get it up to the next tier. It looks like this is going to probably be most easily made using some of our compressed iron and some of our leather. I think we've got a good bit of leather, so let's go ahead and get that done real quick. We do... Wait, hang on. What? No, we have leather. Why isn't our leather showing up? I know we have leather. That would be because it's called hide, and because I'm an idiot. It's called hide. Uh, not at all a problem on anyone else's end except for my very own. All right, so I think we have everything we need here to request what we need, hopefully, maybe, and then we should be able to make our air canisters as we go. So let's go ahead and do, come on, there we go, that, and that is going to make a set of pneumatic boots. There is the pneumatic helmet, which we will need 7 air canisters for. And I've gone ahead and made more compressed iron. I don't think we're going to have enough, though. And that will get us the helmet. Like so. And then the chest plate and leggings. The leggings, I think, are the only ones we can really afford at the moment. Yeah, okay. We're out of iron already on the compressed side of things, so we're gonna have to get some more of that. Let's do another half stack. And I wanted to show you really quickly just how fast the new compression setup is with all the speed upgrades. So all I do is just toss these in here. You'll see that the insertion is still going to wait until everything has been put in. But once everything is taken out of here and put into our I/O unit over here, this pressure chamber I/O, you'll see in, and every time you heard a pop, that was stuff coming back out. And that's that. We're done. And that's so much faster than I think it has ever been, and just makes it so much easier going forward to get more and more and more compressed iron and other compressed utilities like andesite alloy, which we can still only make in the compressor, and that will always be that way. So let's go ahead and get, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more of these. And we'll go ahead and put this in. We'll request what we can. And that'll get us the leggings. And last but not least, we're out of compressed iron again. Gosh, these are expensive. All right. And that gets us the pneumatic chest plate. So not only is that a quest completed, but there's actually a whole lot more to that. Oh, that's also a whole bunch of experience, apparently. That's great to see. But there are now a bunch of modules and upgrades that we can put with the armor that we've got here. So these guys are a complete set, right? So this is like a whole power suit set, and it's really, really neat what all you can do with them. Of course, they can be enchanted with standard enchantments, and that is important because underneath all the other components here, underneath all the other bars, you can see that there's like a little tiny thin bar. That's because these guys, as indicated by the several pressure canisters we had to put in here, air canisters we had to put in here, can store a lot of air. So if I put these in, you'll see that they can store, I believe, up to 10 bar of energy. I actually can't remember the exact number. So they will utilize the bar, the stored pressure, for any of the special features we might want to add to these. And they will utilize the durability for any standard armor features like unbreaking, or sorry, for armor protection against mobs, or for lava, or anything else that we may take damage from. They serve that, or the base durability of the armor serves that function instead. So we will still need to enchant these, we will still need to put mending on them, but now we also get a bunch of power suit features out of them as well, such as we can add speed upgrades, jumping upgrades, we can do, I believe there's a jet boot upgrade, so we can have jet boots up to a certain tier. There's just kind of a lot available to us. And so if we look at pneumatic craft upgrade, you can see basically everything here. So there is, of course, the item life upgrade, which will keep them from despawning. There are other components like the jumping tier for speeding up. The standby upgrade is not even used for these. The radioactive shielding, the gilded upgrade, serves the same function as the gilded enchantment. 4.5 is where you're capping out? No, I don't think so. I think you're just running out of production. There is a scuba upgrade and a night vision upgrade. We can even add elytra or the ability to do damage when we fall a certain amount of distance to kind of act as stomping. So there's a whole lot that we can do here. I think the biggest one for us is definitely going to be the armor upgrade. These can help boost the base armor stats significantly. So if I were to put these on, you'll see that we're actually going to lose armor because these are not as good. But with enough of those armor upgrades, we can definitely do it. And I think we have enough. Let's see. I don't remember how many we can put in. I think we can figure that out over here, though. So if we look at the... if we click this little button here that shows up, we can look at the different upgrades that we can put on. And the armor upgrades, let's see, max upgrade is 4. So we could make up to 16 of these using up an entire stack of diamonds, which, you know, we might look into doing. It's definitely worth it to a degree. Again, you've got to consider that these also take standard durability damage, which is kind of a pain. But, you know, it's easy to access power armor, at least from the start. So what I might do, you can see also that there's a cool heads-up display for it, and there is also an entire section in the keybinds for pneumatic craft. Actually, this works just fine. So this is the general options. We could do that. U will pull up all of this, so we can enable step assist if we wanted to, just from the boots alone. So now we don't have to jump up hills anymore. We could do that. I'm not too terribly offended by it. Then we also have a couple of other options. If we look at the hotkeys, we can rebind. That's a cool sound. We can move our stats. So if we wanted to relocate this little, let me think, is it the, let's see, I don't remember how this works. I don't know why it's not. Don't know why it's not working the way I thought it did. The message screen can be relocated as well. So I usually like to keep my messages down here and then do middle click to toggle between right to left text or left to right text. So I'm going to do left to right and have it show up in the bottom left. And then we can do snap to grid if we wanted to. I think that's fine as is though. Let's see, right click to move the highlighted set. Oh, you can do right click to move a little differently. Neat. Then let's see the stat screen. I thought that was the, yeah, here we go. It's this one. So we can change the movements of these. I have no idea. Let's see. Stats expand to the right. So we can put this, that's where my map is, right? Okay. Yeah, we can relocate that as much as we want. I'll probably do it, move to the left and keep it down here maybe. And then we can change the armor color. So you can see right now we're only wearing one piece of armor, so there's not really a lot to show off. But as we get more pieces of armor put together, we can actually change the colors of the armor set completely, which is really fun. So if I were to put this on as well, go hit U, and then go to colors, we can change the tone. You can see the 2 different layers of armor here. We can change the tone for all of them. So if we really wanted to do some fun colors, we absolutely could, to change the insides or the outsides. If we want to change something to be like, you know, this hideous kind of palette, I could do that. I'm going to reset everything because that's just, you know, my preference. But yeah, you can do a bunch of cool colors. You can change the enchantment glint from displaying or not. So yeah, there's definitely a lot that you can do here. You can see that that weird stat screen shows up there, and I don't love it. But it is what it is. And so what I will do at this point is go ahead and start making a couple more upgrades, getting some of these upgrades crafted up and ready, and installing them, and trying to get a couple of good enchantments as well. See if I can get some stuff up to pressure 4.9 or 5, probably 4.9, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, so at this point, we clearly need to do some more resource gathering, but before I go off and do that, I wanted to go ahead and make these upgrades now and to go ahead and apply them. So I'll show you exactly what that process looks like, and then I'll go ahead and try to roll some enchantments and see what we get. But if we just go into the upgrade module here and just shift right click them in, we can go ahead and toss these in, and you'll see that they will show up in the tooltip enumerations for each of these. So you can see upgrades installed, 4 armor upgrades. And so now you see, because of the other upgrades, the base was for this was plus 6 armor plus 2 armor is added by the armor upgrades. Each one adds half of an armor. So we've got 4 of them, so that's plus 2. And then there is the plus 1 armor toughness, which is what comes with it. And then the plus 4, which is 1 per armor upgrade. And then the knockback resistance was already built in. So this is a pretty major upgrade to this armor. This is how I think I'm going to be able to validate the transition from what we had before. You see now we have a full set of armor, and that is totally fine. You can also see that I've probably got to replace or reset my tooltips for the stat screens. In fact, let's see. There might be a way to middle click. I don't know. Because there's a lot that seems to be propagating. It says that it goes from the top down, so maybe we put it over here instead. Or we could put it in the top right corner, like so. I think that would work. And so if I remove and re-add, yeah, that's okay. I'm not going to complain too much. Now you can see that our move speed is just about the same, but we already have one perk, which you've seen, which is Step Assist, but there is another one that I have not shown, and that is fall damage has been fully negated because of the air pressure stored up in my boots. So if I take the boots off and I take that fall damage, I take fall damage like normal. So, overall, you can see in the lower right-hand corner our current bars, and as we take damage on our armor set and everything else, we will take damage. We may also reduce the amount of bars stored, depending on if we use an ability such as those extra defense upgrades. So I'm going to do some spelunking because we are just about out of resources at this point. I'm almost out of iron, and I desperately need more. I know that looks like a lot, but we've got a lot that we still have to do. In PneumaticCraft, for example, I need to get a couple more of these regulator tube modules, and these are all going to cost more iron, so it's a fun time. Let me get those resources, and I will be back. So I was just enchanting, and I just got an interesting piece of enchanted gear that I wanted to show off because it is not going to behave, or it behaves a little bit interestingly. So if you're familiar with the thermal series, the holding enchant is probably not a new concept to you. Holding has been around for a long time, and it allows you to expand the maximum capacity of flux in an item or in a block. Well, I just got that same enchantment, and it's the same exact one. There's only one holding. If we look at the tooltips here, there's only the one, and it comes from CFH Core, which is the same team that develops thermal. But I got it on my boots, and now you can see that these, which were previously 4.9 bar, are now down to 1 bar. So what this means is that if you look at, for example, this guy down here, there's a air value. So you see there's pressure, which is like the bar, but there's also air, which is a milliliter rating. So what we have done with holding is we have expanded how much air we can store in the first place. So I think holding would definitely be ideal, but for now, you know, it is what it is. I'm also going to go disable that enchantment glyph because that is obnoxious. That is horribly obnoxious. That's better. So we got protection 3. Let's see, protection 4, unbreaking 3, and cheapskate, which that one's a little annoying. We may have to disenchant that because I want mending on all of these, especially now that we have a mending villager. Protection 3, unbreaking 3, and again over here, fire protection 3, depth strider 3, and holding 4. So I am going to have to spend a long time waiting for this to refill itself, but now that we have that, again, I'm going to go do some mining. As you can see, I've wiped out all of our levels and then some. So fun times. So I've been cleaning up my inventory a little bit and coming up with a couple of upgrades to create while working. And I wanted to show off something that I don't think I've really mentioned yet. If you have the rubber setup that we have over there, if you're using, I'll go ahead and yoink that as well. If you have jerry cans or tanks, you can use them to pull out the outputs and then cool them off. So I have forgotten a couple of things that might actually have been helpful for me, but I just thought that would be kind of a good thing to know. Now I'm going to go and pick up some lubricant from Amazon. Actually, why am I buying it? I can just make it, can't I? I think we're at a point now where we can just make it with no issue. Let's see, redstone, biodiesel, or diesel. Okay. We've got lots of diesel. Yep, we'll just do that. But yeah, so far I've just been kind of going through and processing up a good bit of our different fluids here. Trying to get things cleaned up over in the refinery and trying to get things upgraded and enchanted. So I did get a decent set of enchanting on everything. I've got mending on everything, and holding 4 is now on just the boots. I thought I got it on my chest plate, but I forgot that was changed. And I went through and replaced all my piping out with high voltage, or not high voltage. No, I replaced my piping with the advanced pressure tubes, and the advanced pressure tubes. Sorry, the reinforced pressure tubes, not advanced. These guys have been very, very helpful. So what I may do is I'm noticing that we have our one setup is not doing super well for turning our rubber into plastic. It tends to use up a lot of fuel. So what I think I may do is just have a manual system for that, and just have everything sort of manually powered using a lever. And just have everything go through an air compressor, and probably put some speed upgrades in there eventually, but right now I'm just trying to get the rubber cleared out. Now, once we get the rubber cleared out, the reason that I want lubricant is that we can increase our run speed if we were to move over to a better, or to a bunch of speed upgrades, essentially. So if we were to get ourselves a bunch of speed upgrades, we could then put those speed upgrades in the leggings slot, and that will increase our movement speed. So I would like to do that. I don't want to overdo it necessarily, but I definitely am interested. So let me look into that as well. But for now, let's go ahead and get our air compressors put down. We'll put them down here. And actually, let's put them down behind. That way it makes a little more sense. We'll put them down, let's see, well, maybe in front, actually, would be the easiest place. Because if we did that, we could then just go up like so. Then use a camouflage applicator to save ourselves some resources. Yep, I think that will work just fine. Let's see, anything else? I don't think so. So what we'll do is we'll just hook up a gravel there. Go ahead and put that there and apply that there. And I think that'll do it. So we can again start to individually power these, and that way everything here will start to work a little bit better. And then if I put this lever down here and then enable on low signal, if we want to shut these off, we can at any point. This should help a little bit. This is going to be dreadfully slow, so maybe I will temporarily steal these speed upgrades over here. I need way more speed upgrades. That's why we're about to go processing all of our diesel into speed upgrades, because or into lubricant, is because we desperately need the extra speed upgrades. But that should help increase that pressure up a little bit. Now, the biggest thing that I wanted to show you, I'm going to let that run for a little bit because we've got some headroom. The biggest thing that I wanted to show you is that if you take the any of these inventory or fluid inventory, so like a jerry can or a tank, and you put it in a chest that is meant for hypercooling rubber into plastic, you can use that instead of a whole bucket like I was doing before, which is my mistake. I did not know that worked that way, but I was playing with it the other day and I was like, you know what, I wonder if it checks to see if the bucket has rubber or has molten plastic in it, or if it is an inventory that is molten plastic. So I just tried it out of my own curiosity, and much to my rejoice, it was perfectly fine. So watch, if I take this, put it in here, it's just going to drain one bucket at a time. So that is perfect. Of course, these have to catch back up a little bit, and that's no big deal. I should have grabbed redstone. I keep on forgetting stuff at my main base. But we can go through and process up ourselves a bunch more plastic and a bunch more other stuff. So we should let this catch back up. I think we're going to start to run into issues soon enough. All right, so if we take our coal out and put our redstone in, I'm going to take some of the diesel that we have here and start to process that over in our thermopneumatic processing plant. You can see we're sitting at about, what, 9.5 bars, 9.8 bars. So we're doing really well there. And this is a ton of lubricant. I am super excited just to be able to have anywhere near this much. So 12. Oh, and that's going to make kerosene, so we don't want that. That's all right. So what I'll do is I'll wait for the rest of our oil over here to process into diesel and fill that up. But now that we've got our flue tank full of lubricant, we can go ahead and start looking into more of these recipes. Let's go and turn these off and defuel them. And oh yeah, we got a ton of plastic sheets, just quite an absolute ton. One other thing is I noticed, and that's well, okay. Let me rephrase. You may have noticed that in the main sorting room / inventory room that I've put a ladder down to the storage area. Not only is this because Enderman showed up here and because I occasionally needed to go down there to perform simple maintenance, but it's also because of an issue that I've run into with pretty pipes. This is a minor one, and this is one that I've seen before, and this by no means detracts from my love for pretty pipes, but I just kind of wanted to see if this was something that anyone else has run into. If we take a look at this item, and let's go into debug mode and take a look at the MBT on this item, there's a lot of MBT. There are several different things in this MBT, and there's a lot of different components. If I hold shift, you can see that thing at the very bottom, all that spam. That's not spam, that's actually important data, and that tells us, you know, for example, for the Amazon tablet, the first thing tells us in what dimension and at what block coordinates is the chest that things are supposed to go into. And then same thing for the tank. And you can see what's currently added to my shopping cart, a handful of other things. So the issue is that if I put this guy in my system, it goes somewhere, right? So if we look Amazon, give it a second to make it there. Okay, there it is. Yep. If I request it, Amazon tablet not found. That's what I keep getting. And that goes for a couple of things too. If I put like a crate in there, crates also do the same thing. So I've had to come down here and just type Amazon, and if you double click on the search bar, it'll go into this yellow border mode where everything will turn dark except for items that would show up on the right hand side, anything that would match. So now I have to sort through everything down here and see if I can find Amazon, and you can see there it is, and then take it. That's a super duper minor gripe. I'm just going to keep it in my backpack just in case, but I thought I would mention it. Hopefully maybe it gets fixed. Honestly, MBT data is such a big hassle that I wouldn't blame LPEC if it doesn't get fixed. I frankly understand that it is a nightmare to deal with that level of MBT because I've been doing it on my own for a little bit now. So, okay, let's grab some sugar. We should have a good bit. And if we wanted to do 12, we're going to need 48 sugar. So we'll just do that, and we'll go and get lapis. I'm really bad at math. There we go. So we do that, we do this, and we do this. And that will get us 12 speed upgrades. Again, speed upgrades, we've already seen them, we already love them, but now we're going to use them in a way that we haven't used them yet. And while we're over here at our charging station upgrading stuff, I do want to show off some of the other things that we can do with our various modules and upgrades in our power suit here, because there's a lot that we can do. Oh, I left a gap there. Shoot. Oh well. So if we were to put in, for example, our helmet and go to the upgrades tab, we can see that there are a lot of different upgrades here. There's radiation shielding, scuba, the armor upgrades we've already seen. There's speed upgrades, which speed up the system initialization, and block tracking will happen faster. So, you know, that little sequence that happens when I put on this helmet, this thing that's going on right now, that will happen faster. For the chest plate, there are a lot of similar things. This one, each upgrade reduces the startup time, so same thing that you saw before. There's a golden or gilded upgrade, which I think I already put on my helmet. Yep, tricks piglins into thinking I'm wearing gold. And then radiation shielding, the elytra upgrade, which we might look into very soon. I'm excited about that one, hopefully. Charging upgrade to charge and equalize the pressure in all my other equipment. And then leggings, which is where we're here for. Speed upgrade, so we can have up to 10. I'm just going to do 4. I don't really like to run too terribly fast. Allow you to run faster and increase the speed and air usage, which is why we're not going to use these too much. Again, gilded, and then the jumping upgrades, which we'll probably also get into. Very important. Lastly, the boots. The boots have a couple upgrades for stomping, which I've already shown you. Flippers, which I probably need to get. Jet boots could be fun. I actually have not done jet boots before, and there's no other jetpack mechanic, so we might do that. But now, if we go to the, what is the configuration key that we set for pneumatic craft? Pneumatic U. That's right. So U. If we go to U and go to the run speed here, we can enable the run speed and boost at 100%. And now we're going to go real fast. Again, this is too fast for me. Personally, I would much prefer do maybe like a 60, maybe 70% boost. No, even that's a little fast. Probably more like 50. Yeah, 50 feels right. There's a point where it just feels hysterically fast, but if it's kind of, you know, somewhere reasonable, I'm not quite as annoyed or perturbed by it. So yeah, we're definitely running a lot faster now. How did that flower get there? I didn't plant that. It doesn't look like swimming speed has been affected, and if you look at the lower right-hand corner, you'll see that our bar has gone down for the leggings from 9.8 to 9.7. One of the things that I hope to get into soon will resolve this. There's a thing that I've got bookmarked over here that we'll probably get into next episode called the aerial interface. Maybe not next episode, maybe a couple episodes. But this is basically like a ender chest or a remote access point that allows us to keep ourselves, our player, fueled up with pressure from anywhere in the world. So we just hook it up over like probably here and have it hooked up to our main pipe system, and it can charge up all of our gear over here. So that is definitely a possibility, and a plan of mine to take into action here soon is to try to get those improved. But for the meantime, I think I'm pretty happy with this armor set. I know we spent most of the episode just working on this, but it's been a long time since we've given our full arsenal kit some love, and this is a pretty monumental upgrade. There's a reason it has its own quest line, is because it's frankly just a really big deal. This is the best armor you're going to get for a minute. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I do apologize that there was a bit of a focus in the armor today. Next episode, we'll get back into some of the more generic technicalities and stuff. I definitely have a lot planned for this world still. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.